I started off running when I was little, just following my mom. In my hometown, she would go on a 3-mile route, and I would run with her next to her. After college, I got into running just for fitness, and so for about, 10 years, I would run just casually 2 or 3 times a week, maybe 2 or 3 miles at a time. A neighbor said, you really ought to consider running a marathon, and that was a bucket list of mine. I'm like, that's something I've always wanted to do. I got into long distance running, and I ran 1 marathon. I had all these incredible feelings, and I thought, wow, I accomplished so much. What if I channeled all that time that I spent training? What if I spent that doing something else? So another year went by, and I didn't do anything different other than I ran another marathon. And then that motivated me to, I should shoot to qualify for Boston. And so I trained harder than I ever had. I was in the best shape of my life, and it was at the Air Force Marathon in Dayton. Finished an actually pretty good time because of how fast I was clipping. So my running used to be very me-focused and very time-focused. And there's nothing wrong with challenges. There's nothing wrong with setting goals like that. But there is something wrong when it becomes an idol.
Church of Messiah is a big place, lots of people. It's a busy place, but those aren't excuses to not be in tune to those God moments. I'm just thankful to God that I felt the nudge of the Spirit to kind of reach out to Ben and say, hey, why don't you go to Nicaragua? We do a lot of mission work down there, and it was just a real, a moment I think that God teed up to make the connection with the invitation.
I went and did that, and that was life-changing. But it was also a way that God kind of tapped me on the head. And he reminded me that he's blessed me with so much. So Ben, what are you going to do with it? And so then Run for God came along in my life, and it instantly connected. It was like, wow, there's a vehicle to use what I love to glorify God. I sent a note to Pastor Jim, and I sent him the link, and I said, I think this is something that I can do.
A lot of times people come to us with ideas and they want the pastor to do their project. But it was different with Ben. Ben said, I want to do this. I think I have an idea here. And I thought, well, great. And I smiled and thought I had a great idea. But, a couple people will show up and start running, and it'll probably fizzle out.
So Run for God is a running ministry. It's built upon offering a Couch to 5K, a training program for people who have never run before. So it's a Bible study built around running. That first class, I thought there would be, I was hoping there'd be 10. There were 40 that started, 50 that finished. I don't think there was a single person who would call themselves a runner. But the vast majority of people had either never run before, or it had been a long time since they had run. And that's part of what made that group special, is because every week they reached a new milestone. And we got to celebrate that together. And it was through the running, through the milestones of the running, that led right into the faith discussions. So we took that next step, we continued to grow. That led into the second Run for God 5K class that had over 100 participants, I want to say 120, thereabouts.
But it didn't fizzle. One person led to another person, and before I know it, as a pastor, there's more than 100 people in this running ministry. So then, as a pastor, I need to wake up and say, if you got 100 people in a Bible study and out running the streets of Westerville, you better get to Bible study and you better start running with them. So I became part of it.
My time was 27:08.
Are you happy with that?
Really, really good. My goal was to break 30, so been working hard for today. Felt great.
That led to the second Run for God half marathon class, where we had 50 people participate. And then this past summer blew my mind. There were actually lines getting into the Bible study. We had over 200 people.
I'm hearing more and more now of how people have discovered Church of Messiah through Run for God. And in a recent new member class, almost half of the people joining the church in that new member class had connections through Run for God. And really, when they were introducing themselves around the table, one woman almost sheepishly said, you know, I'm coming to Church of Messiah, but I don't have anything to do with Run for God. And the other new members for Run for God just swarmed to her and said, well, it's not too late. You can become part of Run for God. So they've taken a great joy in their ministry. Ben has equipped so many others to share the excitement of just this Christian community. Yeah, it's running, but it's more than running. It's growing in their faith. They're sharing their faith. They're always looking for the next opportunity to witness. You know, they got these little goofy blue shirts. And now you got, you know, lots and lots of people in the church witnessing their faith through this blue Run for God shirt.
So I'm a metallurgical engineer. I never considered myself an expert on the Bible, certainly not a pastor, certainly not a biblical scholar. And I want to say that probably held me back for a while too. That fear of feeling like I needed to know the answers and have all the answers and to know the Bible inside and out. I can tell you I still don't know the Bible inside and out, and I'm working on that. I can do it. Did I ever see myself as a leader doing this? Absolutely not. God placed it on my heart, and I am so thankful that He caught me on a day that I said yes. I'm very thankful to have done that, and I know that others can do it too. I know that others can do it.